I've recently done a rebrand. We had a company when I first started called G&M Property Solutions. It was very basic. We basically sat down and said, what should our name be? And my dad's name is Greg, my name is Matt, and we called it G&M Property Solutions. I went to a seminar once and a guy kind of said, if you have Property Solutions in your name, you should probably change your name. And I started studying branding and I go, that's probably right. So what I went through in the last 9 months or so was studying marketing and rebranding my company, because I thought it was a very, no matter what company or business you're in, branding is huge. It's everything. It's how your customers and the public perceive you. And when you go through real estate school as an agent, they always say, don't be a secret agent, don't be a secret agent. Most investors are secret investors. And I don't know why. They don't tell anybody about what they're doing, what deals they're doing, and how much they're doing. Especially if you're an agent and investor, the more you tell and brand and let the public know about what you're doing, the more they're going to come to you as the expert. So I went and I said, okay, well, we need a name that sticks, that's easy to remember, a short URL, not gnmpropertysolutions.com, so we decided on Move. So this is my website. It's not fitting on the screen exactly, unfortunately. I tried to mess with it a little bit there, you saw, but I'll kind of go over all that. But basically, your brand is the emotion that a customer feels when thinking about your product, okay? And every customer does do that. If they don't get an emotion, they're just going to move on, okay? And so if a customer loves your product, the brand will reflect that love. They feel good when they read, see, and talk about your homes. And so Brett said multiple times that you're not selling a home, you're selling a lifestyle. So when I took that into my brand and said, my brand's also a lifestyle, okay? So what kind of lifestyle do I live, and what kind of lifestyle do my potential clients want? And what I did, because I think that not a lot of investors take branding seriously. Tim is one of the only other guys, Tim Fenton's in here somewhere up there. He actually has a brand, which I'm stoked, because he's one of the only other people that really took branding seriously and is trying to push it. It can do a lot for your company. Within the last couple of months, even Randall's come up to me, and I had some people go through their remodeling, and as they walk through, they go, is this a Move house, or did they remodel it? And he said, no, they remodeled the one around the corner. So it's starting to take effect. People are starting to notice, and that goes a long way, because now when that happens, we're getting residual business that we weren't getting before. The reason you want to create a brand with your marketing is it creates awareness, it creates a buzz about you. Like I said, there's a buzz going on because we have signs out in front of our yard. I wear t-shirts, I have cups that I give out, I put stickers on all of our cars for all of our employees, you know. It's not like in your face everywhere. It's a small 16 by 24 sign. It's a small 4-inch sticker on my car. It's just little stuff, but branding, it takes 5 to 10 hits for someone to see your brand before they start to internalize it, okay? It helps you create a niche market, and that's probably one of the most important things, but also the hardest part about real estate is to create a niche market and go after a niche. And especially in my business, because we do hard money lending, we flip houses, we wholesale houses, we use other people's money and get private lenders to invest with us. We do hard money loans for other investors. We have all these different business models, and so that was like the hardest part about doing a rebrand. But the more you can be niche oriented and brand yourself to that niche, the more people are going to identify with that. And that you have to do some market research to do that. And so, but the nice thing is, once you do that upfront work, you're golden after that. So it creates a cultural movement. So, and some greater than others. And so with ours, it's a little bit more professional, and I'm trying to create a success lifestyle, really. Like people that want to be successful, or our clients, we're helping you buy houses so that they can rent them out. Like I have a couple of videos on here, our last couple of clients live for free and make money off of their houses. I'm trying to help my friends become successful. They see the house that I have, they see the product that we're putting out, and they want to be part of that. So, it differentiates you from everybody else. So like, I know a lot of investors, but I don't know a lot of investors. There's way more investors in this valley that I know about. And that was a huge thing for me when I was thinking about things. I was like, I don't really know, there's no investor that pushes themselves out there as an investor. It's like, and it's unfortunate, because then, unfortunately, because everyone's flying under the radar, there's a bad name for investors. And so my whole thing was, let's get a good name out there for investors. We pull permits on every property. We have high quality product of homes that we put out, because I wanted to change and shift the mindset of everybody out there about what investors do, and they're not shady. I mean, there are shady ones, but I'm trying to change that. So that was like one of my big movements that I wanted to create, was let's change what people think about investors. You need to create a consistent look with your brand, but it creates credibility. And like I said, we pull permits, we have a good product, and now people know that we are the higher echelon of homes out there and quality, and we sell our homes for, the last 3 homes we sold for 10% above market value. Every single one, the appraiser's calling me twice to say, do you have any more comps? I need something to make this comp higher. And unfortunately, they've all comped out and appraised, but that's because I'm pushing the limit and I'm creating a brand. So it pays off. I mean, I can't, the deal that I talked about earlier was the biggest deal of the year. I attribute a lot to branding, for sure. So, and you can, like I mentioned, you can charge more for your product. So what I really looked at in investment world was, there's Gucci and there's all these high-end, Louis Vuitton, there's the Bugattis of every industry, okay? And there's no Bugatti of real estate investing. So that's kind of what I was shooting for, because people do pay for intangible value. And so branding is what creates that. It doesn't just come from, just putting out the good product. We were putting out a good product before, but we didn't have the brand to go along with it, so no one knew what to associate that product with. There was no consistency. It spreads the word. So like I said, we have signs in front of our every project, and we're trying to hit people as many times as possible. So this is our website, our blog. It creates a following. This is somewhere that we drive all of our traffic to, okay? So that people can go to one spot. Like, we're in 20 different spots, but this is the one spot it routes back to. Everything starts here and then blasts out from there. So I'm going to go to the computer and kind of show you guys what we got going on here. Let's see if I can. There we go. Alright, so this is the website. We have a rotating stuff. We have a blog-based website. If you guys don't have a website, start up a WordPress website. There's templates that are really good just from the get-go. This is a WordPress website. We did use we did have a custom guy do everything for us on the WordPress, but you can do templates and do it yourself. I recommend you're the pro at real estate investing, so be the pro at real estate investing, and don't worry about trying to figure all this stuff out, okay? So you want to outsource as many things as possible. That's how you make more money. I've learned, I know how to do everything on the back end of this, because that's just me, and I'm tech savvy, and I want to at least do it a couple times, so that when I do outsource it, I know someone's not screwing me over on price and how long they say something takes and stuff like that. But all of these is just a preview of the blog. We have branding all over the website. We're borrowing branding down here from our brokerage, Windermere Real Estate, Home Depot, because we offer discounts where we blast out emails to our people about discounts that they can get as a consumer from Home Depot, that kind of stuff. But Windermere is a big company, especially on the West Coast, in Seattle and California, and certain parts of California, that have 80% market share as a real estate company. So I'm going to borrow that branding, put it on my website, make sure that's on there. Plus it's state regulated, so that's a good reason to have it on too. So we'll hit on the blog. I'll go to a couple of posts, but I have on here, our Twitter. We're on Twitter. We're on Google+. But as I'm taking all this, I'm putting it on my site, and then from there I'm blasting it out to different social media sites. So also touch on different social medias. This is marketing, online marketing. I like it because I can do it quickly. I can do it mobile. I can do it from my desk sitting down. It's fairly easy. I virtually don't do much. I actually don't do any marketing like letters or anything like that anymore. It's a 1% response rate, and it's really hard to track. So, and it works. It does work. But even the letters that we are starting to send, we're sending some postcards, but all of it points back to websites, and it's just so much easier to track. I can even pull up Google Analytics, but that's a whole entire seminar in itself of how easy. I don't do anything with the analytics. I just check it every couple of days and say, my marketing's working, my marketing's not working. So, every project we have, we're doing blog posts before during, and after the project. So this is one we just closed on and started. You know, we got a little blurb. One thing that you want to know and keep in mind is that you have to have your stuff short. This is how short the blog post is. People have really short attention spans now because they have a phone, they have an iPad, they have a computer, they're getting calls, they're checking everything. So if you go longer than a paragraph or two, you're going to lose them. So this is a short blog post, and everything on the internet needs to be video and picture driven. So we have our little thumbnails here, and you can click on them, go to full screen, and people can scroll through and look at a property that we just bought. And these are the 4 pictures. And then I've never, my rule of thumb was to never pre-sell a property. I never wanted a buyer to come in ever before it was done and look at it, because if it wasn't done, they don't have vision and can't see. But we're painting a picture for them beforehand for them to see it. So like this property here, I think we just started tear out 2 days ago. We already had 3 buyers that are like dead serious about wanting this house. Because here's what happened. They follow the blog, they get on the site, they see what we've done, they go through our active properties to see finished product, and then come look at this one and go, what's it going to sell for? And they go, we know the finished product's going to be good, let's do this. So, you know, so far I haven't actually pre-sold a property yet because they always lowball me, which is the downside. And you know, if I were motivated and the market were different, I'd be like, okay, let's work out a deal. But it's, I've been a little bit, it's been a good market, so I've been a little bit cocky about what I think I can get for my houses. So it works out sometimes and it doesn't. So, but it's, you know, that's the branding hitting, because there's people that are just coming to our site to see what homes we have coming up personally. So video is a huge thing too. I could go on to a video, but I won't play it here, but I'll kind of show you just how our videos are set up. We pay about $150 a pop for a video, and we do video testimonials is what we do a lot of. They're huge. I get phone calls from people. I'm working with a client right now, and he goes, hi, you know, my name is Rob. You know, I met you, I saw you at a slurry meeting, I went on your site, and I saw Jason's blog post, and I saw Charlie's video. I want what they have, because those are the 2 guys that live for free. He goes, I want to live for free and buy another house. This stuff works, guys. This is how people are interacting now. So it's a little bit more, you know, it's harder on the tech side, but it's definitely what's working. So I'm going to go to like Facebook and everything, or we can touch on a video and just show you how it shows up real quick. So again, it's super simple. It's the video, high quality HD on Vimeo. Vimeo has really good statistics on the back end. A short little blurb right here, a one-liner, and that's pretty much it. And they just click on it, play, good to go. One thing I'll also touch on, we'll hit Facebook real quick so that you can see, let's see here. Just shorten this up. Let's see if I can get over here. Oops. Alright, it's not going to let me get over, but let's see here. So on Facebook, the good thing is how this is how it all works as far as any social media. We're on House, we're on Facebook. Have you guys heard of House? House is basically home ideas, and we upload all of our after photos of our properties onto those websites because it drives people back. So Google Plus, Twitter, House, Zillow Digs, you want to write all those down and look into them. They aren't our main portals, but they're the portals that drive people back to us. Pinterest, we're starting to do how-tos during our projects to drive people back to our website. All this stuff is how, you know, my target market's a little bit younger, but that market's huge. It's going to blow up in the next 2 or 3 years. So it's already starting to. But all those portals, we just have our blog posts and we blast them out to those sites. They click on those from those sites and get driven back to our site. So it's a pretty simple process, but it's huge. But yeah, that's the main marketing that we do. That's what I've done in the past couple months here, and it's really paid off. So does anyone have any questions about, you know, tech branding or internet marketing?
Just name the sites Facebook.
Yeah, okay, so Facebook, you want to have a company page on there, fan page. Twitter, you have a company profile as well. And on most of these, I have a personal and company. But so Facebook, I have personal and company. Twitter, I have personal and company. Houzz, I just have company, which is HOUZZ.com. Create a company website. If you're doing your remodels, you post them up there, especially really cool, innovative stuff. That's like, we have things that we put in our properties called wow factors. Wow factors are just something you don't see in most properties, and especially if they photograph well. We mostly upload those to like our Pinterest and our house. And one other one's Zillow Digs. It's a new thing on Zillow, which they kind of copied from Houzz. It's their version of Houzz within their website. Pretty new, so I'm not sure how well it's going to catch on. Pinterest. Pinterest is good. It's good how-tos and just general photos, but really good for how-to videos or blog posts. What am I missing? I think that's all of them. Let me look on the site real quick. So Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, oh yeah, Instagram. So Instagram's only on your phone. I have a company and a personal one. It's super cool and easy because I'm out at a property and I see something cool and I just post up a picture real quick of what it is. I'll click on it real quick and we can kind of see. LinkedIn, I have a company profile on there. LinkedIn, my personal one, actually, I get like 5 ads a day. I don't know how it's so popular, but there's a ton of people on there on the personal side. The business side hasn't picked up for us yet as much. And then this is Houzz, but to kind of peek at Instagram and how easy it is, we go here. So, these are just quick photos of when I'm out. I was out of town and saw this in a restaurant. That lady actually, we talked to her about her selling it to us so we could put it in property. Before and afters of progress of what we're doing in some properties. This is just down in Moab. Just different stuff that people might find interesting. Our properties that are after photos, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I just wanted to set the mood real quick. I was being up here. He's leaning up against the lights. Any other questions?
Just comment. You're going to go branding. There's a lot of time and effort into branding, and hopefully it's going to have value. Make sure you protect it with copyright or trademark. And if you're going to have a website presence, make sure you got the right licensing if you're using other people's logos and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, huge deal. So on that point, he's doing our trademarking right now. It's in process, and a big reason why we did it is someone in Colorado at the exact same time put out Move Real Estate, and they didn't do a great job. They're not like marketing like we are, but they actually captured the URL because we waited too long. And they captured the URL. We captured every other URL on every social media site, but they had the full Move Real Estate, and so they had the Google ranking, because that Google ranking values that a lot, but we've actually pushed them out of that now because we've got our Google ranking up, but we've trademarked, and once our trademark's done, we're going to give them a little phone call and say, you need to get rid of that name. So it's very valuable because people were confusing us, and we did all that branding work, and they were getting our traffic for the first month or two. They were getting all of our traffic because when people Googled our brand, they were going to that site. So we had to work overtime to get our Google ranking up, and then once we get the trademark finalized and finished, we can give them a call and we can probably, I don't know, can we actually seize their URL or tell them we can't get to the URL, but we can have them take the brand down. So, hopefully when they'll just let it expire and then we'll buy it in a year or so. So, any other questions? Yeah. Yeah, so her question was for the people that aren't tech savvy, do you have recommendations for who to go to do stuff like this? I was lucky enough that I have friends and contacts that are within the industry, but really, I say I have a Google University degree because I just Google everything. So really just Google it, WordPress designer. just anything that you need, I just Google it, and it's so sophisticated, it'll bring local results for you and everything. So I have personal contacts I can definitely give you, like our web designer, he definitely wants more work. Our marketing company, I did a lot of the work on this myself, but there was also people that helped us and that are still doing that. So I have contacts, but they're mostly just networking friends of mine, but they're really good. So I can definitely hook you up with them if you want to come up to me after. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah.
So, besides word of mouth, what are the most effective ways that you drive new people to your site?
So his question was, besides word of mouth, what's the best way to drive new people to our site? That was mostly all those social media outlets. We have a QR code on almost every property and every sign that we have, that they can scan it and go to our site. QR codes aren't like the greatest thing in the world. We've had like 10 people scan it, so it's good, but it's not the best thing in the world. And research has shown that too. But just having our name everywhere and then being on all these sites and having, the biggest thing is good quality content that people want to read and that's relevant. And when you have that and then you blast it out, you're trying to get in front of as many people as possible. When they're clicking on stuff, they're coming back to our site. So I could like bring up my analytics of like what our best referrer are. It's a referrer is like a referral site that points to you. Facebook's our highest one. So people are constantly on Facebook because it's on their phone. And when we blast a blog post on a Facebook, all the people drive back to our website, and that's when we get the most amount of hits. But most of my friends are on Facebook, and most of our SOI is on Facebook. But just you guys may say, well, none of my friends are. Lots and lots of older people are getting on Facebook now, and they're using it just as much. It's addicting. It's like it has everything on it now.
So I noticed you have sellers on there. Are you attracting a lot of private owners who are in distress situations, or are you mostly attracting sellers who are selling stuff on a retail basis? Or?
Yeah. So he said he noticed that I had the sellers on there, and are we getting a lot of regular sellers and foreclosure sellers? We don't target a lot of foreclosure sellers anymore. We have it on there, but it's not our main focus. But yes, we're getting a lot of buyers and sellers. Right now, buyers, because there's not a lot of sellers, that's why the inventory is low. But we are getting sellers and buyers off of it, where they're hitting the site and they're reading and they're watching videos and then they're calling us up, or a lot of subscribers. There's a subscription form that people can just put their name and email address, and then they get notified when they have new stuff coming up. So, but yeah, and your answer is yes, for sure. More so than any website or online stuff that I've ever done before. So, way more better. Only Jeff gets that. That's a comment in our office. So. Yeah.
What was the other question? So, some of these things that you're saying on this, that like Instagram is only a phone application, but they can view your stuff here, but to actually follow you, they need to do on like a phone.
Yeah. So it's important to make sure that your website is mobile compatible on a phone and an iPad as well. That way, because on Instagram, that you can't click on anything that links to a website on Instagram yet. But it's people following us, and our name on Instagram is Move Real Estate, and so they just Google it, and then they're coming to us. We get a lot of Google searches for the word Move Real Estate, which is why it was so important that we captured that Google ranking for that term.
I would say the key thing that you touched on was make sure you put keywords on. For me, if I have vacant property, vacant home policies, I'll make sure I put vacant home, like a paragraph that says vacant home, flip property, so that the SEO does its work for you.
Yeah.
So some types in
Yeah.
or vacant, they'll find it.
Yeah, SEO is one of the biggest things. It's actually pretty simple. I know just very, very basic SEO for when I write all my posts. I just have very basic SEO. But when I dive more into it, there's like one post I did that was called, the title of it was, is now the right time to sell my home in 2013, because I went onto Google, did the keyword research on what the best term was, and I get like 3 hits a day on my site just from that term, because it took me 2 hours extra to do the research, but I did more in-depth SEO. I outsource most of my SEO because it's a little bit more time consuming, but basic SEO is super important and super easy, but it's just something that you do as you're writing your stuff. But I mean, my site's pretty, labor intensive at most times, but we have like 3 or 4 people helping writing things. But having consistent, up-to-date, relevant information, it's better and it's exponentially grows if you just keep doing it. Whereas a lot of marketing, you have to keep doing it, and you stay at a 1% return rate, and that's it. You just stay there, and then if it stops, you don't know why. You have to try something different, test. This is more consistent, and it's trackable. Like you can see how long people stay on their pages. It's just I like something that I can track very, very easily. So this is kind of my forte. I think, are we good on time? Yeah, any more questions, or are we wrapping up?
It's like 8:35, so.
Okay. So any more questions? Yeah.
Who is your team? Like, who do you have?
Okay, so who we have is my mom. She's a traditional real estate agent, and she focuses mostly on traditional buyers and sellers. I'm a real estate agent as well, but I focus on the investment side. I'm in charge of like acquisitions, finding properties, and like 10 other responsibilities, but that's my biggest one. And then my dad, who's in the back of the room, he's kind of the investor guy and in charge of all the private money and things like that, financials, because he has a CPA background. Hunter, who's in the back of the room as well, he's a newer employee of ours that's a buyer's agent and also just helps with all the stuff that needs to get done on project management and due diligence and that kind of stuff on properties when we're buying them. And then Cody, so he's our project manager. He manages the contractors, the general contractor for all our projects, and then checks up on all the projects, makes sure we're on time, we're on budget, all that kind of stuff. So we have a 5-person team, another intern that just, or kind of intern slash employee that just started as well. That's helping my mom on her side of things. So, you know, about 5.5 people, I'll call it. So, yeah, because she's part-time, not because she's small. Any other questions? No? Alrighty, well thank you guys. Hopefully you got some good information.